Good day, guys. My name is Muhlali Buzani, and this is Refining Perspectives. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'd like you guys just to subscribe. Yes, subscribe. Good day, guys. My name is Muhlali Buzani, and this is Refining Perspectives. I'd like to thank you so much for tuning into this week's episode. Guys, I'd like to also urge you to please comment below and also do share this video with your friends and your family so that we can keep the conversation going. But for now, I'd like us to jump into this week's episode.
Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.
Bro, perhaps that's why we have offices, but no people.
Yeah, ne?
We have offices, but no people. Yes, there are people there, right? But we put more value on the office more than we do on the person. So what I'm trying to say is, bro, ne, it is because of the fact that umdu is detached from the office. It was supposed to be the person that is occupying the office. But now
not
it's
the office occupying the person. Wow.
Yeah. So you'll find that, bro, really, that is what we are going. And right? And this is what the trade unions are quiet about. You know, I'd really expect them to comment on. When it comes to the fourth industrial revolution, now, immoral fiber. Inqabe olhlobo sithetha ngayo sithi ayikho in religious institutions, ayikho in the political arena. Yabona, what will be the motive or the driving force behind 4IR technologies? Because remember, if 4IR, most of them technologies ezizayo. This is not to scare anyone, and I believe that technology is good. But my concern is more of who is on the back end. Because the person on the back end determines the motive of the technology that it will serve. Because now you'll find that we are no longer serving each other through personal interaction, but we are serving each other through technology. Now dingekho intact now with myself, kungekho technology. When I develop a technology, won't it be to destroy the next person?
It touches on what we were speaking about even before we started recording, of the fact that the advent of social media yenze izinto zaba worse when it comes to how we look up and appreciate and value people who we see on TV screens more than we are able to value and love and spend time with the people that are close to us and are there in reality, in flesh. It has made things worse because, as I was saying earlier, the thing is that before aba bantu sasiwabona for 30 minutes generations and we did not know what they eat for lunch, we did not know where they go to gym. True. So at least the influence was limited, but now the influence spans to all the areas of our lives. So now even like gap yokuba umuntu abe ngulo muntu anguye iyavalwa, ndikopa yonke into because ndine access yokuba so and so or you celebrate utyale exactly. And so yonke into endiyenzayo is to try and mimic la so and so. So now that's the thing, when we don't know our purpose, even the advancement of technology works to our detriment. But when we know our purpose, then technology is then able to work for our advantage and we use it to advance our cause and purpose.
You know, it's not even about technology, and it's just about understanding even how we see our perception of money. The perception of whatever we see is the reality of who we are. We cannot see more or any less than how we see ourselves. You know, so I want to say, bro, we will always react or respond to external things based on the truth of who we are. How we perceive ourselves inside.
all these things that are external,
Yeah.
they end up revealing what is on the inside.
Yeah.
One thing, there's an example that cow 1 is not cow 2, where they're saying that meaning is not in things, but meaning is in people. What the experiment that they made is that they took 2 cows.
Yeah.
I mean 1 cow, and they asked 2 people, different kinds of people, to try and describe it. Oti, how does it look? And describe it to me. And describe it differently. These 2 people, same cow, but each and every person described it differently. Why? Because meaning is not in the things, but meaning is from within you. Because we address things, we describe things, we relate to things according to what is already within us.
That's why I've come across a quote, even, bro. You're so right. That said, we don't see things the way they are. We see things the way we are. So that comes to say, bro, that we need to be in constant check of ourselves.
Oh yeah.
And actually admit to certain truths. One thing that we need to establish, Toban, is the fact that when I die as Buhlali, life will go on.
Yeah.
That means there is reality that exists outside of my life.
Yeah.
With what you were speaking of, the advent of social media, when those gaps of me living out my reality are closed off because I'm influenced in every sphere of my life to be a consumer of perfectionism and me just constantly wanting to be a perfect person.
This
idealistic approach to life, it's not working. Yeah, but because it strips me the opportunity of introspecting.
It also strips you of something that is very great, you becoming. It strips you of you becoming.
It's through introspection that I become. When I spend more time with myself, I get to ask myself the most fundamental question: who am I? Why am I here? Where am I going? How am I gonna get there? When am I thinking of getting there? So you'll find that those 5 fundamental questions of life, there are many people that have never answered them.
They've never even questioned themselves
about. Yet the question is always there. The voice is always there, Toban. But we occupy our minds.
We are too occupied. We're too occupied. We're too busy. We are being influenced. We are sibambasieka. And the thing is that they are becoming more and more available in the media, on the internet, on everywhere. Our lives are becoming chaotic, and the advent of technology is not helping as well, because it's bombarding us with more things. And the problem is that the more things that it's bombarding us with, the less things of quality are there. So we preoccupy ourselves with things that don't even enrich us. So to say is, we, number one, let me say this: we are all leaders. We are all leaders. You might not be in a position of leadership, but you are a leader. Why do I say that? Because leadership does not start with a position. Leadership starts within you
as a person.
And the fact that you have 7 people, 3 people that when you speak, they're able to listen, then you are a leader, because you do have a certain influence to them. So if you are a leader, don't you think that it's worth you sitting down with yourself and asking yourself very fundamental questions of who am I? What purpose am I here to serve? Because through you, even the people that you influence, then they can also follow in that suit. Because when we become, we also allow other people to become as well. They are meant to be.
And bro, can I just interject there and say, there's a word called sensationalism. As we are closing, sensationalism is what is used by journalists, right? In journalism. It's called the presentation of stories in a way that is intended to provoke public interest or excitement at the expense of accuracy. So you'll find that now, instead of us being leaders, we become sensationalists. What are sensationalists? People who will provoke public interest and excitement at the expense of accuracy. So I want to share something, not knowing how accurate it is, just so that I can provoke public interest.
Mm.
I was coming to the point of saying, bro, when we've neglected true justice, what we pursue is inaccurate. Inaccurate.
It's not what it's supposed to be.
Yeah, Bona, it's not authentic. It's
Yeah.
not real. It's not true. Such that we are able to mislead
Yeah,
people.
ne?
It's easy for us also. The reason why I mentioned this, bro, is because as we're about to close, an influence go to add that we don't realize. Yes, social media we have mentioned, politics we have mentioned, religious institutions, but media in general
It's a lot of influence.
has a lot of influence on us, and media does not always have our interests
at heart.
Because if they had our interests, they would not have these titles, the headlines that are only there to sell papers more than they are there to inform us.
And perhaps maybe then in that point, bro, because we can't change them,
yeah,
then what maybe we can challenge ourselves and everyone else listening and watching is that then we need to become people who are not lazy. Who are not lazy
we
to
can't afford to.
study things.
can't
We
afford
cannot become people who accept everything as gospel truth.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about this when it comes to everything, completely everything, even to Christians.
Yeah.
You can't accept something that you are just being told by the man that is standing on the pulpit as the gospel truth without verifying it for yourself. That is it really true? It sounds as if it doesn't make sense.
Exactly.
Does it really? Is it really like this? We can't be people who are lazy, especially as young people. We can't be people who refuse to engage ourselves with the content that is around us, with the ideas that surround us. Someone once said that people are equal, but ideas are not. So that's why when we talk about ideas and what is happening today, we are in a constant battle of ideas.
That's true,
and the invention of social media and its boom has made it more and more, because now when you go to Facebook, the title there or the box
What's
that
on your mind?
it asks you what's on your mind, so you're sharing what your ideas. So now what's happening is that there is a sea full of ideas, and here's the problem. When we are people who are lazy, we can take each and every idea, share it, and give it to everyone to consume. And the problem is that we don't know what is behind that. We need to become people who are not afraid to engage the content that is around us. Look what is at its basis, the idea, the notion, whatever, even before
What's the
trying
chain of
to
reasoning?
exactly find out the chain of reasoning before even dismissing something,
Exactly.
even when it goes against what you believe in, your group. I'm black and you're white. Even before dismissing it because ithethwa ngumuntu omnyama, first analyze it, the value of the idea, ukuba where does it come from, ithini, from its foundation, what is this person trying to say, so that then if you dismiss it knowing ukuthi I base it based on this. I'm not just dismissing it because he's a white person or he's a black person or even though it's the truth, because then we can't build each other, and that's the problem. So that's why here today you see ukuthi we are people who are very arrogant, asifuni ukulungiswa, because wonke umuntu uphethe idea yakhe ngohlobo, and we don't want those ideas to be examined.
With what you're saying, perhaps what we're trying to realize or understand is the fact that masiyekeni ukukhokhelwa ngabantu abakhokhela nge-feelings. Right? When I say that, let us stop being or allowing ourselves to be led by people who are leading based on their feelings or intuitions, instead of them being leaders based on their chain of reasoning. You know, it's the fact that, bro, circumstances and conditions will change. And they will not be where they said they would be. Their words will be there, but they will not be there.
Exactly.
And when we come to that reality, we will be devastated. And what we will realize is that we have not only lost ourselves in that process, but we have lost our future as well. You know? So it seems as if and what eliters as in Jalo they breed young people who are stagnant in terms of mentality yabo. They have stumps, a tree stump.
Iyasulela lento.
Yesulela, so you find that we are dwarfed in our mindsets as young people. We are lazy to read, we are lazy to think, because there's this person in front of us who reads on our behalf, and we are following this person not because of the chain of reasoning, but we are following this person because of how we feel. It's no longer, we can't be guys. The reason why our old people go and vote for the current political party that's in power today is because of how they felt back in 1994. And the reason and reality is that how they felt then is not the reality of what is happening.
It's no longer relevant to today. We need to become people who engage whatever that ideas that are being spread and shared around us. That's number one. And number two, in order for us to become effective leaders, lento that is already in the current political leaders, community leaders, we need to focus on what is within us. And when we talk about what is within us, we're talking about character. That's one of the things that is very important, because character, I don't know who usually says this, but it's a well-known quote that your gift can get you there, but only character will keep you there, will sustain you there. So we need, if really we are going to build a better future for ourselves and the generations to come, then we need ukuthi singavume ukuthi sisuleleke ile system that is currently underway, and singavume even when it is benefiting us, because that's the real challenge now. When it's benefiting you, what are you going to do? So that's why I'm saying we need to focus on the intrinsic wealth, so that even when the system seems to be benefiting me, I'll still be able to reject it and say that it's still wrong, even though it's benefiting me. So then it applies with politicians. If our politicians would be able to come back to their senses, to who they are on the inside, they will be able to say, you know what, the system that we have allowed, and the system that we have also built, it's not serving the people. We need to change it. We need to go back to listening to the people. We need to go back to doing simple things that they were aiming to do. Like many factories were closed that were opened during the time of apartheid. Why? Because of some deals that were made in corners that benefit them but do not benefit the people. But if now they're able to go back to their true worth, their intrinsic wealth, then they can be able to say, you know what, let's go back to what is really important. Let's go back and do what needs to be done. And this applies even in churches. People who are benefiting from this wrong system of doing church, taking from what little that people have and claiming that they will have more, they will be able to refrain from that when they understand that their worth is not in them having things. So their worth is not in them having a private jet. Then that pastor who has been propagating the system will now be able to repent and say that no, wrong, because then we are on to go to the most important thing is what is within more than what is outside. So if we continue focusing on what is external, we will lose the battle. We will continue coming up with solutions that are unsustainable, and we will become the same people who propagate the systems that we were complaining of. Number 3, to close off, bro, and maybe you're going to also say your last thoughts, is that then if we can do this, then we can be able to attain this goal. And I believe this is for someone an idealistic goal of having a society whereby, one, we have people who are conscious of everything that is happening around them, and people, especially young people, who are not lazy to engage the content, the ideas that are being shared around them. And number 2, we have people who are intentional
Yeah.
as a result of that, who do and act
Mm.
in a way that they know why they do what they do.
Yeah.
I don't become a person who just does
Yeah.
because everyone else is doing,
Yeah. Yeah.
but I know why I'm doing what I'm doing. I know
Yeah.
why I'm here.
Yeah.
I know why I spend time doing this.
Yeah.
And number 3, we become people who are purpose and vision driven.
Mm.
We become people who are so rich internally
Yeah.
that we know who we are,
Yeah.
what purpose we're here to serve.
Yeah.
And consequently, the cover of all of this Cienza with that mindset of being people of character,
Wow. Yeah.
becoming people of
Yeah.
character.
Yeah.
And as
sustains it.
is because character sustains it
Yeah.
all. One person once said that your gift may get you there,
Yeah.
but it's your character that will
sustains it.
keep you there.
Mm.
You see? So then, really, if I believe that it would be a great state
Yeah.
esinofikelela kuso
Yeah.
if really we could run and pursue
Yeah.
these things
Yeah.
more than izinto that are
Yeah.
materialistic.
That's true.
Of course, along the way, more especially when we speak about knowing your purpose,
Yeah.
your reason for existence,
Yeah.
that I don't believe that there is lack of fulfillment
Yeah.
when you know your purpose.
Mm.
There's
chance.
aikwazeki man,
Yeah.
aikwazeki. When you know your purpose,
Yeah.
that's what makes you to feel, your purpose, feel fulfillment,
Yeah.
because you are fulfilling
Yeah.
the purpose and the function that you were
Yeah.
created for.
Yeah.
So if we could get to that point whereby we live with these 3 things and
Yeah.
having character to sum it all
Yeah.
up,
Yeah.
we then can even be able now to have diversity, not something that we speak about as investors big chain,
Yeah.
but singabantu nyani who are even black, white, pink, purple,
Yeah,
were even
yeah.
able to come together and sit on the round table and talk about issues and find not just solutions but sustainable solutions to whatever problems that we have. Then in that way we can be able to build a good and a beautiful future, not only for ourselves but even for those who come after us. And with all of that being said, you know what it does? It creates that mindset of it's not just about me. This is bigger than I am, so it removes even the selfishness of wanting to pursue things, jumping to opportunities for your own interests. Then we will even hear less of it terms like sellouts, because we are people who are driven by purpose, driven by vision. We are people of character. Le nto bendiyithetha izolo namhlanje ndizayithetha na next week, no matter if ndinga-offerishwa imali, I will not take it. It doesn't matter if I can be pushed to a corner and be broke, I will still say it. And even and as I say it, ndibe ngumuntu one-integrity enough to stand for what I stand for, even in adverse situations, and be able to also be transparent about everything that happens also in my mindset as I'm standing for this vision. Because sometimes we lie to ourselves and say that no, everything is good, and I don't even think of selling out, whereas you actually do. But when we've become people who have actually worked and who are working continuously working on the intrinsic world, then now we become even people who are not really that afraid of becoming vulnerable and being ostracized sometimes of the values and the ideas that we have. So then, to that effect of something that you said before, of we become people who then are able to even disrupt the current system and the current way of doing things. We change the status quo of things.
Perhaps, bro, like even more into depth of the practicality, of everything that we have spoken of idealistically, on the notion of disrupting, I want to emphasize on the fact that it's day to day. It's when I wake up, at 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock, what am I aware about in terms of the day I'm about to live out? Am I going to be reactive, or do I choose to be proactive? If I choose to be proactive, what are the destructive habits, that I am willing to put aside, so that my inner noble character can be able to live out, to be lived out. So when I use the term disruption or us being disruptors, I'm trying to say that our mindsets have been conditioned to destroy ourselves. I recently asked Tukba, why aren't many people living out their dreams? And you'll find that many of their dreams are dead while people are still living. The reason why people's dreams are dead while people are still living is because people are busy imitating the lives of other people, instead of living out their own lives,
and sometimes even following and living out their disruptive impulses.
So you'll find that really that those disruptive impulses, what they do, destructive impulses, what they do is they deter us, from who we really meant to be. So the point that I was trying to get to is that we need to disrupt, internally, that destructive mindset, because we all have destructive mindsets. All of us awake every day when we wake up. Your confidence level, I'm telling you, and that's the level of and the state of war in our mindsets. It starts within. So each and every day there's a war we need to fight. So when we fight that war, we need to tell ourselves that we are disrupting the status quo of mediocre results, of putting in 50%.
And it starts not only just outside but internally.
Yeah, so it starts internally, and internally we understand that it starts in our character, the core of our character. So such that now when we disrupt internally, we are able to cultivate within us a character tobani that will withstand time, that will withstand circumstances and conditions, such that now we won't be defined by what people say of us externally. We won't be defined by the approval of people, but we will be defined by who we are and who we understand ourselves to be and why we are here. So that leads me to saying now, in terms of the practicality, you need to always, find that basis of who we are. So that way we can be able to disrupt even in society. In society, there are norms and customs that are there that are against what we will stand for when you start standing for your own principles, your own values as a person. So even then, when society is opposing what you seem to uphold, you will have the boldness to stand for it, because you've already died to yourself, and now it's no longer you living, but it is the principles that you uphold that are living through you. So in that way, Tobani, then you'll find then that we will understand that the very same people that we are meant to save, or the very same people that we are there to liberate or emancipate, are the very same people who will think that we are there to oppress them. As these disruptors. And the thing is that, with physical slavery, you are able to ukulula and take off shackles.
Take off the shackles of people's feet
and people will see that
and be
physically
happy
as emancipation. But true liberation is liberation of the mind. That's what Steve Biko said. And you'll find that then, with the liberation of the mind, people view it as discomfort. People view it as an uncomfortable position to be in. So you'll find then that it will be oppressive at first sight.
It will seem oppressive.
It will seem oppressive at first sight. It will not seem liberating at first sight. That means to say that as handouts that we think we are liberating people
when we
at
give
face
them.
value are actually imprisoning them in reality. So that is the same then when it comes to, you know, your mental emancipation or your mental liberty. At first hand, it seems like it's oppressive in nature, whereas it actually is liberating.
Because
them.
even if for that person you are giving handouts to, and then now you try to come and bring some kind of insight and say that actually this is not it.
Yeah.
This cannot continue
Yeah,
like this. To
yeah.
that person, you'll sound as if you are against that
Yeah,
person. You are fighting him.
Yeah.
And the truth of the matter is that you are actually trying to bring that person to a point of depending.
Yeah.
I mean, being independent
Yeah,
and
being
setting that
self-sufficient.
person
Yeah, that's
free
what I was
of
saying.
dependency.
Do you know that sometimes, Toban, we can accept a situation such that we think it's the reality of who we're supposed to be and who we are. So perhaps I'm trying to say that there's a greater call for young people of South Africa from all spheres, Toban, you know, to actually start looking within so that we can be genuine in our pursuit of social justice, so that our solutions can be solutions that will last and not be solutions that are temporary. There's a greater call for us to be our most noble selves, to reach our pinnacle, our most glorious selves as young people, to reach our most powerful state. This thing, and as I close, let us stop thinking power is the pursuit of power is an external thing. The pursuit of power is internal, and the greatest power is us living out our most noblest dreams. The dreams that you carried as Umtana Tubani, those are the most powerful dreams. The dreams that you had before you thought success was based on material things, those are the most noblest dreams that you need to chase after. You once thought that you would change the lives of other people. When did that stop? When did you start accepting mediocre for it being your reality? So that is what I am saying. We need to go back, you know, to what we were meant to be in the beginning, and we need to disrupt what is happening currently.
Loved what you've heard on this week's episode? Well, the answer is simple. It would mean the world to us if you could head over to iTunes and leave us a 5-star review and feedback. Spreading the word really is the best way to grow our podcast and achieve even greater things. Thank you.